We should be good to go.
We're good to go?
It is, but it's not gonna show a red.
Okay, technology. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Boy, that's a refreshing change from what we've been doing for the past however many months.
And maskless.
Yeah. Okay.
Trustee Cheney?
Here.
Trustee Lindberg?
Here.
Mayor Newhart?
Here.
Trustee Bachman?
Here.
Trustee McManus?
I'm here.
Mike Mosher?
Here.
Stephen Gavin?
Present.
Okay. I'd like to make an introduction of people in the audience tonight. Lugene Marr and her husband Ray, Lugene, you ran and you did a great job, and thank you so much. Truly important. It was important to have choices, and we're grateful. And also Tom McKnight, who is to be a trustee in the near future, and also Carly Foster. So welcome aboard, and I'm glad you're here tonight to watch the meeting. We'll move on to the acceptance of the reports. May I have a motion to accept the reports of February 2022, the Clerk's Office, Justice Department, Building Department, and DPW.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And a motion for authorization to pay all approved and audited claims in the amount of $164,600.23.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we have an announcement tonight, and that is about the village brush pile. And Mike, do you want to? There you go.
The Village of Warwick will again have the brush disposal program. A valid picture ID showing village residency will be required at the site. Only Village of Warwick residents will be allowed to dispose brush at the disposal site. The disposal site area is located in the Village of Warwick Department of Public Works site in Memorial Park. No commercial operators will be permitted. Brush cannot exceed 6 inches in diameter. Bag leaves will be accepted, paper only. No grass clippings will be allowed. April, May, and June is every Saturday and Sunday, noon to 4. July, August, and September, the first and third weekends from noon to 4. October, November, Saturday and Sundays from noon to 4, and it will be closed on Applefest.
Okay, very
Thank you,
good.
sir. You might want to keep it.
Put it on your refrigerator.
You're local now, I might have to stop you.
Under correspondence, we have a letter from the Village of Warwick Planning Board member, Tom McKnight, announcing his resignation effective March 31st, 2022. And also a letter from the Village of Warwick Zoning Board of Appeals member, T. Scott Brown, announcing his resignation effective March 16th, 2022. And at reorg, which is our next meeting, the intention is for Scott, who's been on the Zoning Board of Appeals, to move over to the planning board. So, and there's a bit of a hopscotch, and it'll become clearer when we get closer to that. Before we have privilege of the floor, though, there's something I wanted to discuss with the board. Right now, if someone is in arrears on their water and sewer bill, we have the ability to create an installment plan. But the question has come, at what point do we authorize that or make that happen? 1 quarter would be a large amount of people. Usually somebody might have that happen and they make up for it quickly, or they're out of town and they didn't realize that that this was occurring. So I think we have to figure out how many quarters we would allow before we start sending out letters such as this and creating an installment plan. And I just want your thoughts.
Do we know how many people are just in the arrears for 1 quarter versus 2 quarters, or?
We have there's probably about, I want to say 15 people per cycle. Now this would be individuals that have bills over $100. So, but some have large amounts, some have $110, some are 500, some are in the few thousands. People haven't come forward to request a deferred payment agreement. And I'm just looking for some guidance as to what are the parameters for re-levy.
To re-levy or enter into an installment plan?
It would be both at this point. Well, the installment plan, right, Steve, I mean, anyone can request to enter into an installment plan based on COVID, but
Up until right now anyway, the beginning of July.
Right.
But the way it's set up right now is when you want to undertake, whether it's re-levy or any other collection activities, whether, you know, you wouldn't get to the point of turning off the water or anything, but I mean, anything you wanted to do, you have to send out both a notice of re-levy and a notice that they have the right to enter into the installment plans. And the question is, for both, offering the installment plan or taking action to collect, do you want to let it go one cycle, or do you want to let it go more than one cycle? One cycle might be, you know, somebody is just a little bit late, and they're gonna pay it back right after that. You know, 2 cycles, you're probably going too far, but I mean, that's up to you. Or do you want her to start as soon as somebody's late? You know, we're gonna re-levy in 30 days if you don't pay.
Yes. If they're already in arrears from the last billing cycle, they're in arrears. Either pay your bill or pay installment plans or don't have water. Those are the options. And we're not a bank, we really shouldn't finance them at all, except the state laws that we had to for COVID. Other than that, there should be no installment plans. You use the product, you pay for it. So, yes, they should be done immediately on anybody who's already in arrears.
Okay, some other thoughts?
So what is arrears? What is the time period if I'm in arrears?
well, so the billing cycle is, right, you pay your bill on time within 30 days, and then 5%, 60 days, and then another 3% at 90 days. And then the village sends a door knocker out. This is a very different time because of COVID. When Diane used to give me her re-levies around this time of year for our tax season, it was mostly properties that she was very in tune with, properties that were in foreclosure, that she wasn't going to be recovering the payment, and she would send those to me. And the board approves those re-levies. They were not large amounts. But in this case, because we went for 2 years without incurring, we weren't charging penalties on accounts, we weren't turning water off, we have already about 15 folks that want to enter into DPAs, and then we have, like I said, probably about 15 per cycle right now that didn't pay and are not responding. We don't have a phone number. We've sent them, cards. And we're at the point now that if we don't send them re-levy letters for 30 days notice by April 1st, then we won't be able to re-levy them. At this point, we're right up against that May 1st deadline in order for me to send the taxes over to the county. So I'm just looking for some guidance as to what do we do with these accounts. What would the board consider the parameters for re-levy? Even for next year.
So at this point, somebody doesn't pay their water bill, they've basically got 90 days to do that. We can't re-levy them before we reach that 90-day point, correct?
You would have to wait until at least the full billing cycle would be over, so that would be, right where you were putting that door knocker on and they were ready to be shut off. They would have gone through, for example, we still have, we have some outstanding payments from the November 1st bill.
Well, I agree with George. I get a credit card bill, I gotta pay it. It's already spent the money, already spent the product.
Sorry, do they already have 30 days to pay before?
They would have 30 days because of COVID and the village board extending the deferred payment agreements due to COVID until June 30th. We have to give them 30 days notice to re-levy them, but within that same notice, we would give them the option to also enter into a deferred payment agreement. And that's what Steve actually just recently prepared that letter for us. So I have the letters ready to go, but I just need to know the parameters of the folks to send it to.
And you have to act immediately.
We'd have to act immediately so I can get them out before April 1st.
My feeling is to do it with 1 quarter and see how it goes. You know, we can always return to it and see, you know, if it becomes a real burden, then, or if we're capturing people that really are, you know, we're going to pay, and we have to just look at it carefully. But you know, I agree with George, I agree with Bill.
So 1 quarter, no dollar amount, meaning that we have some people probably that are below $100, for example. That's what you'd like to do?
Yeah,
No
I think
matter
so.
the amount?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And then just no one who is currently in the billing cycle. Obviously, I'd have to go back 1 cycle, because if they're still have time to make their payment, whether it's,
Yeah.
right, yeah, okay. Got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
very good. And we'll now have privilege of the floor if anybody would like to speak to the board this evening. It's your moment.
Just a couple of things,
If,
guys.
if you could state your name, please.
Matthew Sullivan, I live in Warwick Village,
Okay.
and I had a couple of questions, just some things that have come up over the past month or so. Now, how are we coming along with comprehensive plans for repair to the water system specifically? I would ask Barry, you know, do we have like a timeline? Do we know how much it's gonna cost? Do we know where the funds are gonna come from? Do we have that in order? I'm assuming we don't. But do we have an idea when we'll know about that for the sewer systems, the infrastructure?
So the comprehensive master plan is actually more of a broad
No,
statement.
I'm not talking about the comprehensive master.
Oh, I
plan.
thought that's what you said.
No, I'm just saying, what is the comprehensive plan?
Okay.
In other words, a plan all-inclusive of what it's gonna take to get the work done. Has that been created yet, or are we working on that?
We have a, you know, list of capital projects, and, you know, we're trying to figure out exactly the timeline on those. Put the potential input of federal and state funds will change that accordingly. So we're hoping to be able to utilize that. And that
I
will,
mean, do we have a period of time that we're gonna be able to
Well-
come up with a plan?
I think that we already have the engineering study, and so that really gives us some guidance. The other thing, too, is that we're working on anything that we can have shovel-ready, you know, as starting projects. You can't do it all at once because you'd have to shut down the water system. You do it, you know, accordingly, you know, with this piece, that piece. And, I mean, right now, we have, as you know, a $12 million wastewater treatment plant that definitely has put a tax, excuse that word, but on the residents. You know, to gather $12 million from 7,000 residents is not an easy thing to do. And so
No, what we have in front of us is ginormous, there's no question about that.
yes.
But I'm thinking from the point of view of getting things done, there should be some kind of an idea about putting a plan together as to, you know, when we're at least gonna know what the schedule's gonna look like. Maybe by the end of the year, maybe not. I mean, we can't just sit here, keep treading water, we're gonna work on this little project, and we're gonna work on that.
I don't think
You know what I
that's,
mean?
I don't think that's what I'm saying, and I do
Okay.
believe that we have an overview and we will have a plan. I don't know how detailed it will be, but we will.
Okay.
Well, we have a number of reports that have been done over the course of the last 4 or 5 years that pretty much lay out what the needs are of the system and how to address that. We
Right,
don't
but
we don't have
Well, we seem to be treading water, and there doesn't seem to be a plan of getting it done. That's my only point, okay?
Well,
So
we're-
maybe it's more of a point than a question.
Well, we have well number 3, which is being done, and we have a wastewater treatment plant.
It's okay, I
No,
don't need to.
no, I mean, those are important pieces, but you can't do everything at once, and once well number 3 is done, then the next project will be probably the main filtration plant.
But there's a lot of there's a lot of funding that has to go into this, and a lot of time and effort, I'm sure.
Yes.
So, last budget meeting, we had a discussion, I didn't make the first 2 open budget meetings. We had a discussion regarding nonprofits and funding nonprofits. Now, I'm not sure what the tradition is of funding nonprofits, but how can we be spending money on nonprofits? As a matter of fact, at one point, somebody mentioned that we have inflation, we have to increase what we're giving the nonprofits to account for inflation, but in fact, they have to come from someplace, so are we gonna do that for the residents as well? Because the residents are suffering from inflation also. So there's 2 things here. Number one, why are we funding nonprofits when we have really incredible needs in terms of our infrastructure? I think we need to look at that very closely, and it's almost like a family with no roof. We should be on an austerity budget. We don't go out for $300 dinners when there's no roof on the house. So it's something, as you go through your budget process, I wish you'd take a close look at. What's going on with the pump track and the skate park? Has any resolution been created with that?
The skate park already has its plans in place. The pump track is on hold because we're putting together a park committee with a landscape designer to take a look at the original master plan that was created, which was maybe too ambitious and too expensive. And so the idea is to kind of reel it in, back it up, and take a look at the overall picture of the park.
Now, you're aware that there's a $300,000 skate park going in at Greenwood Lake. I think they've raised $200,000 out of the $300,000. We've already got people coming in from Monroe to use this skate park. I was over there the other day, there are a bunch of people from Monroe. So I think a lot of them would be attracted to Greenwood Lake, and that's an expensive endeavor. Do we really have another $300,000? I know you're gonna get Lions Club is gonna support that to a certain extent.
That's the pump track, but the skate park, which is
okay.
different, they are actually, we're not funding it. They are raising their funds privately. So that's a great thing.
Which is what's happening in Greenwood Lake, that's private funding.
I know. So it brings on a whole nother level of maintenance too. You know, if it's not maintained properly, and if somebody gets hurt, that's on us. By the way, I noticed down at the skate park the other day that we have now, nobody's using helmets. I mean, literally nobody. And it's probably not in the best condition either. That's gonna impact our insurance.
Okay,
All right, so.
thank you. Anyone else? Okay. We'll move on to motions and trustee Cheney.
Motion to approve payment number 10 in the amount of $8,995.31 to TAM Enterprises, Inc. for the vertical spiral screen at the Orchard Street Pump Station for work that includes installation of the screen, completing electrical work, and related work per the recommendation of village engineer David Getz. Funds are appropriated in village budget, code G.8120.4950 in the 2021-2022 budget.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to accept the bid from TAM Enterprises, Inc. in the amount of $69,000 to complete the Robert Drive Valve Vault project as per the recommendation of the village engineer David Getz.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Motion to hire James Quackenbush to the position of seasonal Department of Public Works laborer at a salary of $15 per hour for up to 20 hours per week for 12 weeks with a start date of May 1st, 2022, per the recommendation of DPW Supervisor Michael Moser.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution.
Oh, before you start that, actually, if our council would give a bit more of the background on this and the stipulation before we make the resolution.
The board has before it a resolution settling the Marr versus Village View Estates and Village of Warwick lawsuit. The lawsuit challenges this board's grant of bonus density lots under a special use permit for the Village View subdivision, which would have allowed 42 units altogether on 33 lots, mostly single-family homes, but some townhouses. I believe it was 10 units of townhouses altogether. It also challenges the planning board's grant of subdivision approval for that subdivision with the 42 units in it. As the litigation progressed, the parties discussed the development, and Village View has proposed to scale the development back to 28 homes, on single-family homes, on 28 lots. They will keep the configuration of the roads the same as in the 42-unit iteration of the subdivision. And further, they will stand by the developer's agreement in which they undertake to make the replacement of the Robin Bray pump station. So that's what's being proposed in the stipulation of settlement that has been publicly published, if you will, because it's still litigation. But if the board approves the resolution, then that could become a public document, and would be available for perusal. But those are the basic terms of it. The board, all board members I know have received a copy of it, and that's what you would be voting on in this resolution.
Okay. Very good.
Ready?
Go ahead.
Resolution approving settlement of a lawsuit, whereas Village View Estates LLC, hereinafter Village View, owns a parcel of approximately 20.3 acres located at the intersection of Locust Street and Woodside Drive in the Village of Warwick, which is identified on the tax map as Section 201, Block 1, Lots 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 2. And whereas the Village Board granted a special use permit for density bonus lots to Village View, and the Village Planning Board granted subdivision approval for the creation of 33 lots improved by 42 dwelling units. And whereas a lawsuit was brought by Raymond Marr individually, Lugene Marr individually, Raymond Marr and Lugene Marr as trustees for the Lugene Marr Irrevocable Trust, and Raymond Marr and Lugene Marr as trustees of the Raymond Marr Irrevocable Trust, hereinafter collectively Marr, in the New York State Supreme Court, Orange County, index number EF 006490-2021, seeking to annul the said land use approvals. And whereas the parties to the said lawsuit have prepared a proposed stipulation of settlement under which the said lawsuit will be discontinued and the said subdivision will be modified to consist of only 28 lots improved by 28 dwelling units, a copy of which has been submitted to the Village Board. And whereas under the proposed stipulation of settlement, the Village View will remain legally obligated to replace the Robin Bray Pump Station and abide by its other obligations under the developer's agreement previously approved in regard to the subdivision. Now therefore be it resolved as follows, that the Village Board hereby approves the proposed stipulation of settlement, and that the mayor is authorized to sign the stipulation of settlement and any and all documents necessary to carry out the terms thereof.
Second.
Okay.
Discussion,
Mhm.
yeah. A little history. Our attorney mentioned some of it, but this project started around 2005, and it received planning board approval for a 28-lot subdivision. Before construction began, there was an economic downturn, and the developer decided to put a pause on his project. When the economy improved, the developer looked to start the project and applied to the village board for a special permit requesting a density bonus of 14 lots. Basically, this settlement is costing the village $700,000 in density bonus fees, 10 units of smaller, less expensive homes, possibly a 3-acre parcel which would be used to site a new water storage tank as part of the consolidation project, and the expenses incurred in defending the lawsuit. I understand the developer's desire to proceed with the project and avoid a protracted court proceeding. I do not believe settling and the subsequent smaller project is in the overall best interest of the village, but with the other two parties in agreement, it doesn't make sense for the village not to join in this settlement.
I want to add to that, though, Barry, that in speaking to the developer, he felt it was unsustainable because he could not afford the $50,000 per unit cost for the
That seems to fly in the face of the fact that lots in this village are going for $100,000
But
or
it
more.
wasn't about the lots, it was about building something where he could make a profit, which is what he does, And that's, that was from his word, from his mouth. So it's a combination of things, it's not just one, but I understand where you're coming from. Any other comments? So we have a roll call vote?
Trustee
Oh,
Cheney?
was it made and seconded?
Yes,
Bill.
Yeah.
Bill
Oh, I'm
second.
sorry, I missed it. Go ahead.
Trustee Cheney?
Yes.
Trustee Lindberg?
Yes.
Trustee McManus?
Yes.
Trustee Bachman?
Yes.
Mayor Newhart?
Yes. Okay. Mr. Lindberg?
Make a motion to grant permission to the Warwick Valley Gardeners to use Railroad Green on Friday, July 8, 2022, from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. for pre-tour ticket sales for the garden tour event. All activities must be in accordance with New York State and Orange County Departments of Health. Completed park permit, security deposit, and proof of proper insurance have been received.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Make a motion to grant permission to the Warwick Valley Gardeners to hold their garden tour ticket sale event on Railroad Green on Saturday, July 9, 2022, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. with a rain date of July 10, 2022. Event is in coordination with the Merchants Guild in anticipation of the annual sidewalk sale event. All activities must be in accordance with New York State and Orange County Departments of Health. Completed park permit, security deposit, and proof of proper insurance have been received.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Make a motion to place no parking meter covers on parking meter numbers 43 through 46, which is the northbound side of Main Street, and meter 103 and 109 through 111, which is the southbound side of Main Street, from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, July 9, 2022, with a rain date of Sunday, July 10, 2022, for the benefit of the Warwick Valley Gardeners Garden Tour ticket sale as per their letter dated February 24, 2022.
Second.
Question,
Yeah.
who's placing the no parking meter covers?
They are, George. That's,
Well, I disagree with that. I think DPW should, that way we know where they went, who got them, and when they all come back. So no parking meter covers are not floating around through the village by other people.
But they're numbered and they are, when they leave, they come back, correct? I mean, we
Yeah, they
basically,
sign them out, they sign them out.
So they're
I
accounted
still think DPW should put them on.
for 3 hours of overtime.
Yeah,
well, yeah, the letter says they're gonna be picking them up on Thursday, July 7th, and they'll be replacing them, putting them on very late on Friday, July 8th. So,
I'd ask a question, maybe you can answer it. Do you see issues with abuse, with bags showing up on meters that,
I don't see the garden club as abusing the meter bags.
well, no, but
That wasn't
if they
the
can get
question.
out, if they get,
I see contractors abuse meter bags, yes.
but they can buy the meter bags themselves, they don't have to get out.
Absolutely true, yes, sir.
but then that vehicle should be ticketed and towed by the police as soon as it's seen. We have
I don't
police go
disagree.
through the village, we have a parking enforcement person. If there's an unnumbered Village of Warwick bag on a meter that some contractor is using, find the contractor, or don't even bother finding the contractor, call the police, call specs that have the vehicle towed away, period. It is not our responsibility to give people free parking. And if they're using bags from Home Depot or wherever they're buying them, that's not the village's problem. The problem is that we're losing money on those meters by those folks, so they should be removed. Now, back to the Warwick Valley Gardeners, I still think our people should be in control of our bags while they're not in an office in this building. That means they put them on and they take them off and they're accounted for. And yes, if it's 3 hours overtime, then so be it.
It's gonna be 3 hours overtime for the sidewalk sale, 3 hours overtime. I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that we
That's
hand out
fine.
bags to people, they sign for them, they bring them back, and everything works out pretty okay. But listen, I am sure that my gentleman will be more than happy to walk down the street and boop, 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 and collect 3 hours for it.
That's fine.
I'm good.
we do notice the folks that take advantage of the bags, particularly during the day, you know, from the contractors. And Melissa notifies the police, it's taken care of. Kathy also, again, has a list of all the bags, and she is aware of the people that take advantage of it, and it is reported to the police.
I don't even want to have it for any further discussion about the contractors. We have a motion that I brought up a point on, and we need to act on that motion. I don't, at this point in tonight, I don't care about the other contractors. That's a totally different issue.
Well, you had brought it up, so I just wanted to kind of clarify what was going on.
Okay, so we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
I forgot where I was.
The Wascals.
Oh, motion to grant permission to the Warwick Wasco Senior Softball Team to use Brown Field or the over 35 field in Memorial Park from April 13th, 2022 through October 23rd, 2022, with games on Sundays from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. and on Wednesdays from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. in coordination with Warwick Little League. All events must be in coordination with other activities taking place in parks such as the Warwick Youth Football and Highland Rugby. Activities must be in accordance with New York State and Orange County Departments of Health. Completed park permit, proof of proper insurance, and security deposit have been received.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to approve budget modification and transfer request as per the village treasurer's letter dated March 17th, 2022.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And Corey?
Make a motion to grant permission to the Warwick Valley Chamber of Commerce to hold Operation Clean Sweep on Saturday, April 23rd, 2022, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., including permission to use the far end of the Chase Bank parking lot for a shredding event and other collection stations. All activities must be in accordance with New York State and Orange County Departments of Health. Completed park permit, proof of proper insurance, and security deposit have been received.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And George?
I make a motion to grant permission to close Park Avenue between Galloway Road and Bird Street on Thursday, April 21st, 2022, from 4 p.m. through 7 p.m. with a rain date of Friday, April 22nd, 2022, for the benefit of Park Avenue Elementary School Someone Special Warrior event.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Make a motion to grant permission to close Park Avenue between Galloway Road and Bird Street on Friday, June 3rd, 2022, from 5 p.m. through 8:30 p.m. Rain date of Thursday, June 9th, for the benefit of Park Avenue Elementary School family picnic.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Make a motion to grant permission to close Park Avenue between Galloway Road and Bird Street on Thursday, June 16th, from 9 a.m. through 12 p.m. and from 5 p.m. through 8:30 p.m. Rain date of Friday, June 17th, for the benefit of Park Avenue Elementary School fourth grade moving up ceremonies and celebrations.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Make a motion to grant permission to close Park Avenue between Galloway Road and Bird Street on Tuesday, June 21st, 2022, from 9 a.m. through 3:15 p.m. Rain date of Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022, for the benefit of Park Avenue Elementary Special Sports Day. I'm sorry, School Sports Day.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And we have one addendum, if you could do that, Bill?
Make a motion to grant permission to the Warwick Adult Kickball League to use the football field and the over 35 field in Veterans Memorial Park from May 13, 2022 through July 23, 2022, on Friday nights from 5:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., except during the Fireman's Carnival. Permission includes use of Memorial Park football over 35 field lights. All events must be in coordination with other activities taking place in the park, such as Warwick Little League, Warwick Youth Football, Highlander Rugby, and Warwick Wascals. Activities must be in accordance with New York State and Orange County Department of Health. Completed park permit, proof of proper insurance, Memorial Park football over 35 field light fee, and security deposit have been received.
Okay,
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And reports. Barry, do you have something for us?
Yes, information on the Bank Street Bridge project. And just so that everyone's clear, the Bank Street Bridge is owned by Orange County, and it's entirely their project. And they got started last year, had some issues with Orange and Rockland being able to get in there and do the work that they needed to do. So it had to carry over until this year. They're gonna mobilize to the Bank Street Bridge on April 4th. The crane pick day, because these are coming in large concrete pre-made slabs, is going to be on or around the 26th of April. And they expect to wrap up and demobilize around May 18th. So fairly quick turnaround. Once they start, Bank Street is going to be closed to all traffic, including pedestrians, for the duration of the construction. So that little more than a month, there will be no pedestrian traffic across the bridge. And they are also, on the day of the pick, going to need to use a significant portion of the South Street parking lot for that morning. They expect to be out of there by 2 p.m. With everything back up and running.
We should reach out to the chamber and to the merchants so that they have a close.
And the businesses along there
Right,
personally.
right.
They're making provisions for the businesses during the time other than the pick, but during the pick and installation of the slabs, that's going to require that there's going to be some impediments to use of the nearby properties.
Good, thank you. And I want to say Orange County was great to work with on this project. They reached out to us, and we had long discussions on the choice of the design of the bridge. We would have preferred to have kept the iron railing, but it's not does not fit into DOT criteria. So we're saving that. We'll be reusing that in maybe in one of our parks or another place. But there will be lighting. I think it's going to be very beautiful. The Architectural Review Board had a lot of input on this project, so I think it'll be very nice. It'll be great to have that open again. So thank you, Barry. Trustee Lindberg.
I don't have a report. I wish I did.
Okay. Okay, that's good. And Trustee Bachman?
Nothing to report.
No?
The director of the library has retired.
Yes.
I'd like to thank her for 20 years of service to the
Yes.
library.
Absolutely.
Her effective date was last Wednesday, if I remember correctly.
That's right, correct.
And the replacement has been named, Mrs. Lisa Lako is taking over that position. She's been with the library for 15 years or so. So we wish Rosemary good luck in her endeavors, and she says she's staying locally. She might travel a little bit, but she'll be around. And our best wishes to Lisa for continued success of the library.
Mhm.
I'm going to let it go at that.
That's nice. That's very good. And she's been an incredible dynamic director and really the catalyst behind building a new library. When she came into town, that was one of her goals, and she accomplished it even though we were in somewhat of an economic recession at that point. So it was pretty amazing, and that library is a testament to our community. It was definitely a collaborative effort, and it really speaks volumes about Warwick. So sorry for that pun about volumes. So final comments from the floor? Well, I have one thing. Tonight is two friends' last meeting. Trustee McManus and Trustee Lindberg have been doing this with their heart and soul for a long time. And we tried to figure out what would be a nice way, a nice tribute to say thank you. And we didn't think flowers were going to work. And so we thought one of the greatest aspects of our community is that we are a tree city, and we do have this remarkable arboretum. And so I filled out the Village of Warwick's tree application. It says memorial, but no, I took some liberties in that. And so we will be planting 2 trees this coming Arbor Day. And so you are invited, please. We have a wonderful ceremony with, I think, 2nd graders from Park Avenue School. And And if you'd like to have a comment on what tree you would like planted, please get hold of me and I'll make sure we select that. And the plaques will read, "To honor the service, William Lindbergh, trustee, 2010 to 2022." And then to honor the service of George McManus, trustee, 2003, 2022. A remarkable legacy, and I know that this tree is something that will last and be a reminder of that work. So
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. Any other comments from the board? May I have a motion to adjourn?
Absolutely.
So moved.
Yeah, oh yeah, you guys. All in favor? Aye.
So George made the motion and Bill seconded it, right?
Yes, that's it. Perfect.